But it's not like Dayton, Ohio history. I also like politics. So one of my favorites was John F. Kennedy. I follow everything that he did. Everything he spoke on, I agree with. And the world would have been a different place had he not been assassinated in 1963. But here in my town, a very popular place that we have, one of our places that we have in the downtown area is Courthouse Square. On October 16, 1960, John F. Kennedy spoke on these steps of Courthouse Square. And I wanted to try and line up a couple of shots from where he stood at on the courthouse. Courthouse Square is just around the corner here. Famous Dayton Arcade right there. We're at 3rd and Main Street on Courthouse Square, which was opened in 1850. The first proceeding was done on April 18, 1850, and it was a divorce case. In 1913, Courthouse Square was also used as a morgue during the flood of 1913. Now, this is 3rd and Main Street, very popular area. This is where I came and stood about right here when the Ku Klux Klan came to our community, spread their hate. I stood right with the Black Panthers party of Dayton. Yeah, but there's videos on that. But what I wanted to light up was right here. You see this cannon. The cannon was put there on July 4th, 1902, and it weighs 5,500 pounds. It's been there, an icon ever since I can remember. But as we see the back part of this cannon right here, I'm going to focus on the area right behind it, and then the area in front of it real quick, where a Secret Service person stood on either side of this while Kennedy spoke. So let's do this. Here's a picture from that day. I also have a copy of the speech that John Kennedy gave very quickly. But you can see the cannon right there. You can also see the post at the end of the yard, the Courthouse Square. People are lined up along the edges of the Courthouse Square right here. This is a little grass area that they're standing beside the cannon. This is a Secret Service person. You see the North Main Street sign right there on the post. You see people laying up against the edge of the steps right here. And these people are on the steps. He is not on the steps. He's like, we're almost behind that cannon. Let's take a look. So right here, he would have been standing right up here. Now, Senator Kennedy, there's our cannon. Let's go right here again. Go on. So this would have meant that John Kennedy stood about right here. You can see people along the edges here. You see the Secret Service guy that was standing right. You see the people along the rail standing there too. You see the North Main Street pole right there. Of course, it's probably not the same one, but you know. And right here at the end of that little island by the cannon, which means Kennedy was standing over here, standing about right here. Right on the other side of this pole. Here's a picture of Senator Kennedy on the same day, October 17, 1960. He signed autographs and greeted well-wishers at the Biltmore Hotel. The Biltmore is just a couple blocks away. This is the Biltmore. It's now an old folks and a home for disabled people. You see the bee right there, the famous picture of Harry Houdini there, and there's something really cool about this. Show you real quick. Elvis stayed here in 1976 on the 7th floor, and he would leave and come and go through this door right here that still remains in that alley. Elvis Presley coming and going right there. There's videos of him. Just some trivia. This is John Kennedy arriving at the Cox Airport in Vandalia on October 16, 1960. Vandalia, Ohio. There is Senator Kennedy standing with James Cox. This picture was taken in the lobby of the Biltmore Hotel. It's still, the lobby's still the same. You probably still see where he was standing at. Exactly. A little bit of history about our Biltmore. There's the entrance to it right there. Local cars there. He actually was the next president in 1960 Monday, October 17, 1960, at Courthouse Square. He was scheduled for 12 noon. He was 39 minutes late because he was coming from Middletown. He had stopped in Franklin, Middletown, and Springfield that day as well. This is also a courthouse, but they tore that down. This one still remains. This beacon was connected directly in Courthouse Square. And now this is just a lobby or patio area. Actually, I saw Pat Benatar there. And you see the courthouse right there next to it. And there's a stage right there. I went to my first Trump rally there. Then in 2016, there was an anti-Trump rally there. I went and I did a video. I have to find it. But I was the only Trump supporter there, and they were absolutely, you're the only one person that got shitty with me. The rest of them were cool. And I stood about right here. They had all of this fenced off. So 9 members of the KKK were allowed to speak to crowds here. But look it up, Dayton KKK. We had 2,000 people out in this street right here, and we chased them off. We doxed them, chased them out of the. We don't have time for hate near Dayton. Here is downtown Dayton. This is there with 20,000 people showed up 3rd of May in Dayton, Ohio. Kennedy's standing right about there. And I showed you the spot where you're standing at from today's point of view. And now we got the whole look. And by the way, the doors to this courthouse square, the doors to the courthouse, I mean, weigh a ton apiece. 1 ton, they're made of solid, pure steel behind that. But Kennedy was standing like right there. Now here's the picture of Kennedy standing along the side of Courthouse Square, the courthouse. You can see these buildings. Now this building still remains. Right here is where the RTA hub in Dayton is now today. This building still remains right there. You can see Kennedy standing there. Let's take a look. You can see is this building right here, and there's a piece of this one right there. Well, that means Kennedy would have been probably standing in this area here. I'm gonna have to take a better look at that photo, because it looked to me like there was a window, but I'm not sure, but you can clearly see. Look at the, keep in mind of these, the way these windows are rounded off and how there's only like, it looks like half a building. See how these right here are rounded off. It's 3rd of May, you see how the windows are right there behind him, that building you can see in the picture. It was in this area somewhere where Kennedy was standing in Dayton, Ohio on October 17, 1960. And that picture you can see this, where it caves in right there. This is now a Dayton bus hub, but you can see these buildings right along here. So that means that John Kennedy was standing up. It was probably from that platform. And right there would be that where it caves in right there where looks like a piece is missing. This building's totally gone now.